Hey, welcome to Proboxx review. In this video, we are going to talk about Proboxx, which is like a digital freight forwarder service with Amit Rosenthal here. He's the owner of the company. So essentially what Proboxx does, they help you ship your goods. If you're an Amazon seller, and Amit will, of course, elaborate on that more, they're going to ship your goods to different parts of the world. For example, I've shipped goods with Amit from China to the United States from one of my products. So now they have Proboxx, which is a kind of a newer solution to what they had, like Rosenthal Logistics, which is still a company, right? But now, like Proboxx mostly is what you mainly do, man. We're going to talk about it, show you how it works from A to Z. We're going to show you the platform. Hopefully, it's going to be useful for you. Timestamps are included in the description, as well as a special coupon code VOVAEVAN100, going to appear here on the screen. Grants you $100 off with your first shipment with Proboxx. And also, they'll help you with, like, and Amit will elaborate on that, like product classification. So they'll help you find the right HS code for your product. So essentially, it's going to help you in the future or in the present even avoid problems with, they believe, customs authorities in different countries. So that's a really nice service, and they do it for free using the special code and the link in the description to check Proboxx. And enough blubbering from my side. Amit, welcome, bro.
Hey, thank you, brother. Before everything, those who don't know, I'm sure if everyone follow like your channel, so everyone knows you. But to give out of perspective, so Vova is one of like my favorite people in the space.
Thank you, brother.
Such a great personality, always happy, always smiling. So Vova, thank you for having me, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you for the warm words. I appreciate it, man, honestly. We haven't seen each other in the physical reality for a while, although we met a few times, but we'd love to meet again. However, digitally, we meet here from time to time. So today with Proboxx, your company, it would be nice to see how it looks. Can you maybe tell us what is Proboxx in better words than I did? And then we're going to dive into the website and see how people can work with your platform, and it eases and simplifies logistics.
Thank you for the opportunity. So starting by what is Proboxx? So Proboxx basically, like, we are providing freight forwarding and supply chain solution for Amazon and e-commerce sellers. We're working in the space in the logistics for about 5 years. We used to name Rosenthal Logistics. We did a rebranding basically on January 2023. And we launched Proboxx to our audience. The reason we did this shifting is, besides like having a new brand name and so on, we get a lot of reviews. Like, we're working a lot with beginners, 6, 7, 8 figure, and also with aggregators on the space. As bigger you are as a seller, you're starting to need better control, better visibility, and better efficiency on your time and your supply chain in general. And one of the biggest feedback we always receive, that like, especially from the bigger seller, that when you're running like a multiple SKUs and multiple brands, it's basically impossible to track what's going on by emails. So it's hard to track where is your shipment, when it's going to be delivered, what's going on. So basically, the software and the platform was built by Amazon sellers and to Amazon sellers. And the idea behind it is to be more efficient, to have better visibility and better transparency on all of your supply chain. So if you agree, we can jump into it right away and make like a demo to your audience and show them Proboxx capability.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying, you guys help us with logistics. It's like multi-logistics company, and help us also with warehousing if we need, and also with shippings and all the word around that. So like sometimes people have questions about customs and all these things. So you help us ship, you can help us pay customs, you can help us with all logistics, pretty much chain as sellers, so we can get our products from point A to point B kind of thing. And you take all this and now you've simplified it, because it used to be like emails back and forth. And I know that like I've also in the Amazon FBA space since like 2016. So things evolve, which is good for us sellers. We can have solutions such as Proboxx that helps us digitalize it, like clicks. We don't need to invest time in emails. Maybe sometimes, yes, but we'll see it now, what's going on. Okay, let's see Proboxx. Let's see a demo. Let's go, man. Yeah, why not?
Please. Another thing I just would add to that is like, there is a lot of sellers manufacture only in China, and there is other sellers manufacture in China in other countries such as Vietnam, I don't know, Pakistan, India. So Proboxx basically can help you like with your shipping and your logistics, not just from China, but basically all over the world, as long as it's related to Amazon and FBA. Okay?
Yes.
So let's jump into it. So this is Proboxx platform. I already signed up to the portal for this call. everything here is dummy and fake, basically. So all the data is not real. It's things that I was like building in order to have like a demo to our clients. So this is the main dashboard, Proboxx logo. This is my fake brand name, Doggy Dog. I'm selling dogs products, right? So it's basically mentioned the time, how many open shipments I have, how many due invoices I have now. We can see here all the invoices, the shipment, or the quotation I generated in the history of Proboxx. On the left corner, we have our shipments, invoices, quotations, customer parties, item and SKUs, and report. And I will try to go through each one of them. What we recommend normally at Proboxx is starting by adding your customer parties, your shipper and manufacturer, or your item and SKU details. And we will see in a few seconds how to implement the data and why it's useful later on to generate faster quotes. Yeah, so let's start with the customer party. So here I have like multiple suppliers or manufacturers or consignee if it's a 3PL. Again, everything here is dummy. So let me take one just as an example. Let's take dogs, accessories, and more. Okay. So here is I have the company, like my supplier name. I assign him as a manufacturer, right? I have the primary contact details here, the name, the email, the telephone number, and the address should be here. All right. In this segment. So this is a good that we can show. We add here the address, and the reason for that we will see later on. Okay, basically the reason we are asking from our customer to add here the supplier details is not just having like more efficiency quotation process, but also once you confirm a shipment, I'm sure Vova, from your experience, you started sending your supplier details over and over again to your forwarder. So no need to do it like more than one time, okay? You add your details here and that's it. Later on, if you accept the quote, so we're gonna have the details. We don't need to approach you again. Send me an email with your supplier details, okay? So that's the idea. So here I'm saving this, right? So this is how to add basically your supplier details. And if you have 3PL in the States, and again, you can use Proboxx 3PL solution, but if you have your own 3PL, so basically you can add it as well as a customer party, but instead of as a manufacturer, you just simply change it here to be a consignee, okay? Same, you add the details, you add the address. So basically it's exactly the same process, right? Now we go to item and SKUs. Again, we only recommend to add the item and SKUs initially, again, just to have more efficient quotation process. Okay, so I go now for like one example, okay? So this is a dog leash. Again, it's dummy and fake. So the description is dog leash. I add the SKU detail. You can choose whether it's been boxes or pallets. In this case, it's boxes. I add like the length, if it's by centimeter or inch, I choose centimeters. I add the box length, right? It's calculated automatically the cubic meter here, right? The weight, kg or libra, in this case kg, 15 kilogram per box. You can add the total units per carton, what is the currency per box, and you should assign your specific manufacturer here to the specific product, okay? So if you already add your customer party, for example, you can mention that, I don't know, Dog 1 Brilliant International is assigned to dog leash with these SKU details, okay? Clear?
Yes, makes sense.
So here you can add multiple SKU and you can duplicate the SKU, for example, if needed, if it's just variation or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So now going to quotation. All right. So basically we have few options. Okay. First of all, you can generate a new quote basically from scratch. Second option will be duplicate the previous quotation and create a new one. Let's start with the beginning, like creating a quotation from scratch, all right? So I'm going to add a new quote. In this case, I don't know, let's say you have a LCL shipment, I'm sure you are aware of what I'm talking about. The Incoterms, whatever, XWorks DDP, I don't know, okay, or FOB DDP, cargo description. So now I'm adding the dog leash, right? And all the details been assigned automatically, you see? All I need now is change the quantity. Let's say in this case will be 150 boxes, right? So it's automatically changed the total weight and automatically calculated the total CBM, right? I can add like multiple loads, all right? But again, each quote is from one supplier to one destination. So, sometimes like Amazon splitting the total cartons to multiple like FBA center. So you will be able to generate first quotation and then later on to duplicate your quotes and just change in the quantity. I will show you. Okay, I will show you in a few seconds.
So up until now, we added the shipment mode. We should know the shipment mode before we ship with you, or like, let's say a new seller comes and there are a few things. I mean, I do know, yeah, but let's say a new seller that's listening now, or not necessarily a new seller, even maybe experienced sellers will understand what is air cargo, when we ship by air, land.
Yeah.
But so you would recommend us to understand first, I believe, which one we need. I believe we also can consult with your team to maybe
right.
the best solution.
Exactly.
So we can talk about that. Like, what do you think? Like,
first of all, absolutely, bet you see it's quite like it's detailed here, like FCL full container load, right? LCL less than container load. Let's say you are a totally beginner, you don't know if you ship LCL. So you see here there is like this sign. So this is a chat box basically with our team. So if you have any question, you can drop us a message here.
Perfect.
Right? And we will revert immediately. Okay?
All right. So you can help us. That's really nice for any stages or stuff. Yeah. But yeah, of course, if we're not shipping a full container, then maybe we'll ship in a less than container, as we said.
Yeah, and exactly.
Generate a quote. And can you elaborate on the 3 shipments? Because recently Amazon split my shipments into 3. So would I need to come here to do only one quote for the first shipment in the same kind of roof of shipments that they gave me? Duplicate it? Can you explain this a little bit?
Yeah, let's finish with the process and then I will show you like exactly an example for that, all right?
Cool.
So in this case, like we have 150 cartons, right? Let's take your example in this case, 150 cartons, location type, we said it's FOB, right? So the field now mandatory is the port of loading. So let's say the port of loading is Shanghai. Right, you see the shipper free on board. Yeah, the supplier need to bring the goods to basically put the goods on the vessel, right?
So in this case, China, for example, yes, as we see.
Yeah. If the terms would be EXW Xworks, so then the pickup you will have to assign the pickup location, right?
From the factory, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So in this case, pickup date, I don't know, next week, right? Now we have basically 2 options. Options 1 is to ship it to Amazon FBA. So we choose Amazon FBA, and then we have a drop-down menu here. Let's say in this case, Amazon sends you to LAX 9, right? So we have it here. Port of destination is not mandatory because we found out that like 99.9% of the clients have no idea what port it should go to. So you don't need really to fill in the port of destination. Only in case you know for a fact what's going to be the port of destination, right? Now you have like service level. So let's say you want to, like, you have multiple options. You can rather choose just regular, or you can choose express and super express, and you will get 3 different quotations for regular, express, and super express. Okay?
Is it work days or calendar days?
Calendar days, but again, it's from departure and it's estimated only, Vova, okay? Just to give a client a quick brief about what's going on here, right? So let's say in this case, I choose just regular and super express, okay?
Okay.
Now we want to use Vova Even 100 coupon code applied successfully, all right? So here we go. You can add your PO number, purchasing order number with your supplier if you have, I don't know, 908, for example, all right? Do you need insurance? Yes, I do. What is the currency? US dollar, and the value is $3,000. Okay?
Value of all the goods, right? Of all the goods that were...
Value of the goods, yeah. Of this specific request, yeah? Okay. And basically you can send a request. So now you see we have here a quotation details here. I will go now for 1 second here to my Gmail account, which is signed to this account, and I got automatic respond. You see, quotation received, this quotation number, 150 boxes, and some details, right?
Oh, so it's automatically giving us the quote.
No, not the quote, just quotation received. Okay, received, now we have.
Okay. Yeah, it shows that you received it. Okay.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. Now let's say, Vova, you said we assign Amazon, right? We assign Amazon we said it's going to LUX 9, remember? But
Yeah,
you made a mistake, so it's not going to LUX 9. I need to ship it to my 3PL, okay?
Yeah.
So you can simply edit the request here, all right? You can go edit request. All details are the same, but instead of Amazon FBA, now we're going to a factory warehouse, and we choose a 3PL instead. So I'm going to, let's say, amazing 3PL. Again, it's a dummy one, okay? I'm choosing this one. And boom, the drop. You remember we add already the pickup location, right?
Yeah.
The address, the final address in this case. So it was assigned automatically here. So this is the reason. Everything need to be like more efficient and faster in general, right? So basically all the details are the same, and that's it. Update the request, okay? So now instead of like going to Amazon, it's going to amazing 3PL USA. Right?
Does it send a new email again when you do that?
Let's find out. Let's find out. Honestly, let's find out. I don't think so, but to us, it's getting a new email for sure.
Perfect. That's good.
That's a good input, by the way, Vova. That's a good input, by the way. By the way, if you want, like, you see there is a chat box here. Like, let's say you got a quotation. You can send us any message you want. Hi, thank you, blah blah blah. Any message you can send it over here. We will get this message. We're gonna send you a reply. It will be appeared here, and it will be appear also by mail. So everything you're getting here in the system and by mail as well. Okay.
Great.
So let's say we send you a quote. So you give me like an example. Okay, Amazon split my inventory to 3. This one going to 3PL. Now I want to have the same exactly, but instead of going to a 3PL. So I have now, instead of 150 cartons, I have 50. And instead of going to a 3PL, now this is going to my FBA and to LUX 9.
LUX 9.
All right. That's it. Quotes generated, right? Yes. Let's say now you have a third warehouse, right? You duplicate again. You change the quantity to 25 in this case, okay, or whatever number it is. You're going to change now to FTW1, and you want to say, in this case, I just want regular service. I don't want express, I don't want super express, that's it. Quotation was generated. So that took us maybe first time to generate the first quote. It took us, 1 minute, but then duplicate the request and assign them to a different warehouse took us, 10 seconds maybe, Vova? Yeah, so maybe I'm more experienced, but for the non-experienced on the platform, it will take 40 seconds. Still, it's much faster than creating an email over and over and over again.
Yeah, man, I understand. That's true. Sometimes I'm looking for supplier details. Sometimes I don't remember his phone. So I might remember I have in my mail, like from 1 year ago, the talk with, oh man, it's so it's all around. So if we get it in one place, honestly, very comfortable.
Yeah, cool. Sure. Cool. So let's say you got a quote, okay? Let's see.
Quotes we will get inside the system. We will get updated by email, I believe, right? Also.
So here you get a quote, okay? In this case, like I got a quote. Here is the quote, and I had like an option, like a button to accept the quote, okay? So this quote was accepted already, okay? So you see the accepted, the rate, the expire that it was on the date. And basically the general data of the quotation, right? So basically now we're going to shipments, okay? And let's take this one as an example, okay? I will go later on, I will scroll up and show you the details, but just to show you, this was quotation number 463. This quotation was accepted and it was assigned now to a job number C220, all right? So each quotation, when it's been accepted, by the client, it's been assigned to a job number here, okay? So now let's go. So this shipment is C000220. Place of pickup, port of loading, port of discharge, port of destination, and the delivery address. Here we're going to have a live map of the vessel location, okay? So once this shipment will be basically real, so you're going to see a red dot on the vessel location, okay? So you can track basically where is the exact location of each vessel all the time. Now we have here the quotation number, the job number, the PO number, in this case is Amazon FBA reference and ID. The shipment terms is Xworks to DDU, extruded duties. The shipping line that was assigned is evergreen. The house bill of lading, this number, the vessel name, the voyage number, the shipper or the manufacturer, the consignee, and the commodities here, right? In this case, books, total weight, total CBM, and so on. And here under the task center, you will have basically all of the documentation that related to the shipment. Your invoice, your receipt, your proof of delivery. If there was measurements that is not aligned to the measurements the seller sent us in the beginning, so there is going to be reference, like picture reference of the measurement that we did in our warehouse. Basically everything that is documentation that related to the shipment, you're going to see under the task center. So I will ask you, Vova, from your experience, how many times did you approach like your forwarder over and over again? Can you send me please my POD? Can you send me please whatever? So you don't need to approach us. Everything is here under the task center. You can find it 5 years after a shipment was delivered. It will be still in your task center for a specific shipment. Okay?
Yes, Amit, and tell me please, I was curious, you're walking through the shipment details you were walking us, and there's the PO part with FBA number. So each shipment on Amazon, we have the shipment ID and FBA ID. How do we put them here? When did we put it? When we were generating the shipment? I kind of missed this part. So
yeah, so I will go to the quotation again. Okay, let's take this one for example.
the quotation somewhere we added probably, right?
In the quotation process, in the last segment, right? Additional information, you have customer PO. You see?
Okay, customer PO is the shipment ID that
again you can edit if you want, or later on if you're going to accept the quotation, so we can ask you the Amazon reference and ID. In most cases, unless you're like a really big seller or aggregator, you don't have like a really purchasing order with your supplier. So normally people will put it in their Amazon reference and ID. Some like bigger seller will put the purchasing owner just to have better track of the quotation itself. Okay,
I understand, because sometimes I was working with forwarders, maybe when we work with you together, we are asked to provide this FBA ID for some reason.
Yeah. By the way, we ask it because this is the only way we can set an appointment to a shipment. Otherwise, we will not be able to deliver the goods to Amazon. Okay.
So again, for FBA sellers, we would need to take the FBA ID there of our shipment and put it into that place most of the times, as you said. It might differ with bigger sellers, not, but in me as a smaller seller, I can definitely say that, yeah, we usually put this number, which we can get in the shipment on Amazon itself. Probably the viewers that are watching are aware because they're somewhere in their shipping processes. It's in the shipment that you open Amazon. There's FBA ID and shipment ID. Usually it's 2 numbers. So should we put one of them or both?
Both. Normally better to put Amazon reference and Amazon ID inside.
Good, man. Thank you for explaining that. Okay.
All right, so now let's go maybe to the best, like in my opinion, the best feature here. So here we have basically the shipment events. Each status is going to take place. You're going to get automatic message by mail, and I will show you how we send our messages. And you will also be able to watch it here. Okay, so again, Vova, like I know you're also working with some Chinese forwarders, some with us, some with other forwarders. You know that when you're working with a Chinese forwarder, basically you are in a fog. You have no idea what is the shipment status, where it is, when it should be delivered, and so on. And for that reason, we do believe that like having like transparency and know your cargo positioning is a key for a healthy supply chain, right? You as a seller always want to be in stock. Like that's your main goal, right? To stay in stock all the time. So how can you be in stock if you don't know what's going on with your shipment, right? That is the reason basically why we build this platform. So you as a seller will have better transparency and better control of your supply chain, okay? So in this case, again, this is dummy. This is like a shipment events that took place for the shipment, okay? So you see it was eventually delivered on April 4th. And let me show you how we're sending these messages, okay? So here we have, all right? We have delivery time scheduled, okay? You got like every event, you will get basically the same thing, but with a different status. So in this case, last status was delivery scheduled, okay? So we'll get a notification like this. So we'll get a subject delivery time scheduled, the cargo itself, books, shelves, the SKU details, the C shipment, the load, boxes, 120, reference, Amazon ID, bookshelf white, status update. We have like a nice graphic design per each status, different one, right? Delivery schedule, nice message here. We are pleased to inform you that the shipment was scheduled for delivery, blah, blah, blah. All the shipment details here and our social and so on. So basically, again, for each leg and each status, different status, you will get a message depend on the on the latest status. So you will receive it by mail, and again, you will be able to notify this in the platform itself. So again, the idea is that you're gonna have a better control. One last thing here. See, there is a chat box we saw on the pricing stage, right? The chat box here. So basically now you have also the chat box on a specific shipment with your account manager, all right? Basically you operate your shipment. So if you have any question to him, where is my shipment, why it was not departure yet, or whatever, you can simply add the message here and generate to our team, and our team will revert as well.
May I ask you something? Let's say we got a quote. Okay, it's good, it's fair price. But like, is there room to talk about the price, or usually you have a system and like which gives you the best price in a way, and then we just kind of work with that? What would you recommend when we're creating a relationship with you? Let's say we shipped 5-10 times with you. You see that we're good clients. Can we talk like about how to pay them? Like,
definitely. So again, like this messages right here, you can drop any messages you want. You can say, hey guys, we're working. Maybe I got a quote from Proboxx, I don't know, 1K, right? $1,000.
Yeah.
And you get a quote from alternative forwarder, $950, right? And you say, listen, this $50 is essential to me and to my business. But Proboxx, wow, Proboxx, what a platform. They're looking super legit. I want to work with them. Yeah, drop here is a message under the quote. Hey guys, can you maybe try to reduce the cost to $950? Send us this message and we will reply for sure. All right? Okay. That's one. Second, we have like a generic email of Proboxx, which is info@proboxx.co. You can drop us any message regarding whatever issue you have, and our team will reply. And Vova, like from a customer of Proboxx, I'm sure you are aware that me as the head of the company, like customer service and customer experience is a key for us to have a success. And we see all our clients, not just as a client, but as our colleagues, because your success is our success. So yeah, it is a platform, but it's not that you're working with a computer. You're working with people behind it, and we are here to support everyone, right? The platform is just for you guys as the sellers to have better efficiency in your order supply chain. But we have an email, we have people, it's free.
Platform, which is cool.
We have emails, we have people on board, and my team is here to support everybody.
Great, man. Thank you for sharing.
Last thing here, we have invoices. So you're gonna have all your open invoices, the status of them, due, paid, or whatever. Okay.
And how do we pay? Credit card, PayPal? Like, I mean, what do you prefer to take? How does it work?
We have Wise, Pioneer, credit card, bank account. So basically, we have all 4 options to pay. And in terms of when do you pay, it's for a specific client. So I don't want to jump too much into it. If that's okay.
But generally, on the platform, will we have a button to click, pay, right?
Once the shipment arrives to our warehouse, we generate an invoice and we share it to the client, and then you can pay for a link or whatever platform you prefer. Again, Pioneer, Wise, credit card, bank transfer, or whatever.
Perfect, man. That's nice. I understand. As we said, the platform itself is free. We're going to have the coupon code, also Vova Evan 100. You're going to have it here on the screen in the post-production. And also, it's usable when you're getting the quote. So it will give you $100 free on your first shipment, which is fair, I think. $100 is fair reduction price. And also, you will get the kind of HS code checking for free. So they will be able, guys, to check on your specific product what is the HS code or harmonized system
Harmonized,
code?
yeah. Can I elaborate? Can I elaborate like one word on that, one sentence on that? So
definitely.
I just finished, like, honestly, I just finished like a call now with a potential client, all right?
Yeah. Okay.
So he produced a product. He already produced the product, which apparently now after he checked with me like the HTS code, apparently the duty is 28.3%, right? Which is huge. So he didn't know that. So now think he need to recalculate his profit, right? So this is a great case study to show sellers to verify with a broker, with a custom broker, before even starting production, right? Because it's essential to know eventually, it doesn't matter if you're doing DDP or DDU, you have to pay the duty, right? It's essential to know the duty percentage even before starting production line, because it can cut a lot from your overall profit on a specific product. So checking with a custom broker or a forwarder, what is the right HTS code, what's going to be the duty percentage even before production, in my opinion, is a key and a great input sellers should consider before starting production.
I agree 100%, man. It's like a lot of money, and then it's gonna put you in some different position to, better do it before you start production. So HS code, find it for your product and validate it. Yeah, we have this option also to do it for free with Amit and his team, and also you get a quote and the reduction in price with the code VOVA100. We're gonna have all the links in the description to Proboxx if you want to go to the website, see what they're all about, like research more. We're gonna have the email also to contact Amit's team, which we mentioned beforehand. I'll leave it in the description. Yeah. Of course, if any comments or anything, ask. And Amit, we went through everything. We have pretty much all the tabs, but also see you have the warehouse tab, because I wanted to ask you also, we're working, let's say, with Proboxx for housing, our grill brush. It's a product we're selling actually. So grill brush, I want to house, let's say 25 boxes. So I see on the left there is inventory. Is this where we're going to work on our inventory? Let's say if we ship to Proboxx, or it's like another platform, or how would you recommend this?
So it's basically connected to WMS software, but it's still under, like, let's say, production, so to speak. Yeah. So for now, the software do not support like the warehousing, because you also have to collaborate with the warehouse. It's much more complex in that sense. Than just but it will come in the nearest future, I hope. But we do provide like a free page solution in the States and in Canada. So if anyone needs like help on that, they can just drop us a message for info@proboxx.co, and we'll try to help on that as well.
So you have another system for this specific part of
exactly
the inventory with your warehouse, which still will be able to count the boxes and everything. You know all that info, but just it's not here currently in Proboxx. Will be here, as you mentioned, with time, which is great. But yeah, man, so it seems like we covered everything. I'll mention to our viewers again, all the links are in the description, the discount for your first shipment as well, and all the good things. And Amit, if I should have asked you something that I haven't, maybe you let me know. But seems like we went through everything. We saw the platform. We showed how it works. Viewers, listeners, comment, ask if anything is not clear. I also mentioned that me and Amit, we have created a free course like 2 years ago, I would say, if not more.
Even more. I think even more, brother.
2020, man. 2020. That was 3 years, bro. That was 3 years.
Yeah.
We did a course on logistics. So if you want to learn a bit deeper about FOB, EXW, all these terms, and generally understand how to ship from point A to Amazon, point B kind of thing, I'll leave it in the description. Free playlist here on YouTube should be useful. And Amit, man, thank you for being a guest. It was interesting, and I hope Proboxx grows, man. And
stay strong, brother. And thank you for the opportunity. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. And we're going to be in touch. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.